Hi, my name is Angela Collier, and today I am going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is how we can become more resilient. And the question is, how can we become resilient when life is happening? How do we become more resilient through ups and downs in life, really challenging times these last couple of years dealing with the COVID pandemic. There have been a lot of tragedies, unfortunately, that many of us have had to deal with. So these things happen in life, but how do we move through those times of our lives with grace, and then how do we come through those tough times even stronger? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have, I would say, dedicated my life to helping people live life abundantly through helping them develop healthy habits and healthier lifestyles and healthier behaviors. This is what I've done for the last almost 18 years or so. Ever since I graduated from college, I have been on this mission to help people live life abundantly. As far as my education goes, I have a Bachelor of Science in Human Foods and Nutrition. I have a Master of Arts in Holistic Health. And most currently, I am very excited to share that I am now certified through the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches. So I am very proud and honored to be a part of such a wonderful organization. I have two kiddos. I have a son, his name is Braden. I have a daughter, her name is Brene. And I have been married to my partner, Brandon, and my best friend for 12 years. Maybe another day I'll tell you our love story. I love telling it, but I've been with my best friend for about 12 years, going on 12 years. Hobbies, I love to lift heavy things. I love lifting weights. I love cooking healthy meals as long as they require minimal ingredients. I can only do about 5 ingredients, and I don't want those meals to take a long time. I enjoy being with my family, and that's what I do. So, without any further time, I want to share what I hope that you take away from our time together. I want you to have a good understanding, at least my perspective, and also based on knowledge and research, what resilient means. So I'll be giving you my definition of what that is. We'll talk about a little bit about the brain and the brain science, as well as resilience, and some strategies on how to build resilience. And today specifically, we will be focusing on a specific component of wellness, which is more the social side of wellness, and how developing your social wellness can help you become more resilient. And just so you know, I do have my timer, so I want to make sure that I am honoring your time. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping it to about the 20 minutes. So I have a brick wall here, right? And, think about anything that you have experienced in your life that just seemed like a brick wall. You just could not get over it. And think about how it felt to encounter that brick wall, that barrier. Were you frustrated? Did you almost give up? What was your experience like when you hit that brick wall? And then think about what it took to overcome that brick wall. What did it take to start figuring out how to climb over that brick wall or knock that brick wall down one brick at a time? And then think about what you learned from that experience. What did you take away from that? How did you grow from that experience? Resilience, and this is one definition, is the ability to bounce back from changes, from challenges like barriers or brick walls, with skill, with flexibility, and adaptability. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't come to that barrier or that flexibility to that wall with the skills, but it's how did you develop those skills? How did your wheels start turning to figure out how to get over that wall? And that's a process. And as you move through that process, that is the process of becoming more resilient. In the moment, you are likely not going to feel very strong. You're not going to feel very resilient. You might want to give up, but it's the process that you went through to get over to the other side. And now you're equipped with the skills, with the mindset to help you have the confidence to be able to overcome those next challenges that you face in the future. So stress and resilience, they're like besties. They go hand in hand. They work together. You cannot become resilient without stress. I'll give you a very recent example. Over the summer, my daughter had a goal to ride her bike. I said, great. If you learn how to ride your bike, I will buy you. She wanted a new device, right? The device that she had wasn't really working very well. She couldn't watch her videos on there. I said, okay, if you ride your bike by the end of the summer before school starts, I'll get you a new device so you can watch your videos and do your TikTok and stuff. So she was excited. Now comes the time when she has to get on the bike and practice. Her barriers were fear. She didn't want to fall. She didn't want to skin her knee. She didn't want to skin her elbow or anything. So she was a little afraid. She was stressed out. But I kept pushing her. You have to get on the bike, little by little, little by little. Now, she sent me a video because she's at her grandmother's house for the rest of the summer hanging out before school starts. Mom, I rode my bike. You can see in her face the confidence that she has now. She rode the bike down the driveway, and now she has more confidence. She has the skill. She has more of a mindset that's going to help her to keep going further. But she had to go through that feeling of fear. She had to push through that. And it does not mean that the fear didn't go away, but she had to learn how to keep moving with that stress, with that discomfort, with that fear, with that anxiety. She had to move with it to get to the other side. So you have to remember that stress is about embracing that stress, because stress can be good, but not letting it overtake you, but allowing it to be a part of the process so that you can grow. Blessed are they who are flexible. It's one of my favorite quotes because they will never be bent out of shape. So how can becoming more resilient help you with living a more abundant life? How do you think that can help you? What are the benefits? Well, maybe you've heard of the growth mindset. Like I said before, resilient is learning how to, you become more resilient with building the skills, becoming more adaptable, building up the confidence. So whenever you're faced with another tough situation, your brain can say, hey, it's a little different, but we've kind of done this before. So you'll face those situations with more of an opportunity to continue to grow, to adapt, to learn another skill, to expand your capacity. You'll develop the competence, again, going back to those skills, because you've done it before or you've done something similar. And then the more you learn how to overcome tough things, the next time you have that tough thing face you, no matter if you've done it before or not, you have these skills, the steps, the process in place. Okay, this is new. I've not done this before, but the last time I've done something new, this was my process. And so now you've developed the mindset to take on new opportunities in a different way. So now you've kind of made friends with the fear. I know I will feel anxious. I know I will feel fear, but the fear will not overtake me. And that's how it opens up your life to more abundance, to embracing all that life has to offer, embracing each and every day with another mindset, with a mindset of like, wow, what else am I going to learn today? It's a whole new ball game. Super exciting. I'm getting excited here. Okay, so science is fun. And years ago, I was introduced to a really interesting word. It was, I don't know, about 10 years ago, maybe, called neuroplasticity. So I was taking a workshop and they were talking about brain science. And I was like, okay, I love this new big word, neuroplasticity. What is it? It's amazing. So the saying is, you can't teach a dog old tricks. I think that's the saying. Well, you actually absolutely can. Now, you will have to be willing. You have to open up your heart and your mind to want to learn new things. But the good thing is that your brain can adjust and adapt to new habits and new mindsets. It takes practice. And so, from a physiological perspective, all of the neurons in your brains, let's say you have an example, right? Let's say you're going to work and you have your standard route. You can do it with your eyes closed. I hope you don't drive with your eyes closed ever, but for the sake of the example, you know this route like the back of your hand. So let's say one day there's a detour. You got to go a different direction. So the brain is like, oh, it feels in your body, it might even feel uncomfortable. But let's say this detour continues on for a month or so. Eventually, you don't even have to use your GPS anymore to figure out how to get to work this new way. Your brain has learned it. That's neuroplasticity. Your brain has been restructured and rewired to take this new path. And that's can absolutely be accomplished when it comes to developing a new mindset or developing any new habit. But it takes practice and it takes intention, just like anything else. If I taught my daughter how to tie her shoes earlier this year, we practiced until her brain connected to her fingers, to the shoelaces. This is how you tie your shoe. You have to practice. So there's different ways that we become more resilient. We're not going to go through all of these today, but we're going to focus more on the social side, right? So we have different facets of our wellness. So for example, and there's different models, but for this one model, so you have your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and social well-being. Today, we're talking about how do we become more resilient through our social component of our well-being. And that includes with our connections and relationships. So this is a really interesting part of the conversation, because a lot of times we think about how do we become more resilient physically, right? I lift more weights, I get stronger, I'm more resilient. Emotionally, we kind of understand how do we become more resilient emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. We don't always talk about how our social wellness can also help us to be more resilient. So let's talk about that. When you have any kind of social network, right? A best friend, some of you might be involved in like a community of faith. Um, Maybe you have, there's an app, I forget what the name of the app is, Nextdoor, right? So Nextdoor is an app, you get to know some of your neighbors. So you have a network of people. When you have positive relationships, no matter how many, you can have, personally, I'm an introvert. I don't have a lot of relationships. I don't function that way, but I have a tight, small, knit group of friends and mentors. So when you have this positive a set of friends or family or colleagues, or even if it's via social media, somewhere you can go and connect, it promotes a more positive sense of psychological and even physical and emotional mental well-being, because you feel like you're cared for. People empathize with you, they understand you, they support you. If you volunteer, again, that could be a part of your social network. You're getting out, you're around other people. That sense of helping others helps you to feel better. So you're able to get through those hard and tough times with more grace. When you're around others, you just open up naturally. You might share a little bit about yourself, you might share a lot. But no matter what, you're letting out some of that emotion. Sometimes we go through times in our lives when someone hurts us. So even when you just go to someone and you say, you know, I remember you said something to me, and in my mind, it created this story and it really hurt me. Whether you say this personally or you say it to yourself, you write a letter, that forgiveness frees you of the burden that it creates when you don't forgive someone. So I want you to think of a time when you were going through a really, really hard time. And you reached out to your social network, or maybe your social network just showed up. You know, they showed up with a casserole or something, right? They came and they mowed your lawn or whatever they did for you. Think about what that felt like. Just put your back in that moment just for a minute. What feelings come up for you? I remember I ended up having surgery just out of the blue, had to have surgery. And my team, I was out, I couldn't work for about 6 weeks or something like that. And my team sent me Brene Brown books, they sent me audiobooks, they sent me a little care package, and it just really was nice to have them think about me. I felt truly cared for because my team could have been like, oh, she's out for 6 weeks. You know, we'll see her when she comes back. But they thought about me, they reached out. So consider how you can develop your social network. Maybe it's reaching out to social media and finding a group that aligns with what you're going through right now. Maybe it's connecting to a friend you haven't connected with in a long, long time. Maybe it's volunteering at a senior center and just listening, opening up to learning something new, something different. So I hope today that you've learned how to be more resilient, what resilient is, and how having a social network can help you get through those really tough times with a little bit more grace. Thank you so much for your time. Again, my name is Angela, and it's been such a pleasure.